The Minister.
Thank you, sir. On the 11th day of the 11th month, the guns fell silent and people across the world stood in reflection and memory. And still, so many years later, I did, along with members of my local community and the member for Hartley and the Mayor of Campbelltown at the Magill RSL last week, reflect on Remembrance Day, and I'm sure members across the House did the same. The Magill RSL, indeed, in offering that service to the community, paying tribute to the members of our local community who made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms in wars from the First World War and indeed in subsequent conflicts, do this community a great service. And, sir, it's a service they have been doing that community and indeed a service they've been providing for their members and their families for 75 years. And it was with great pleasure that on Saturday night I again joined the member for Hartley and the Mayor of Campbelltown to spend some time with the members of the Magill RSL on their 75th anniversary dinner. Indeed, many RSLs around South Australia in the last couple of years have commemorated their 100th anniversaries for obvious reasons. In Magill, there was indeed a meeting of veterans in 1919 or 1920, and indeed they met sometimes, but they did not form a formal RSL group for 25 years later. Meredith Burgess gave an outstanding presentation to all present, the President of the Magill RSL, reflecting on some of the history of that RSL and what it's done in our community. I commend her for that, and I thank Cheryl Cates and her husband for representing the state RSL. I know that all members of the Magill RSL were honoured by Cheryl's presence and her reflections too. James Stephens and Councillor John Flynn joined the Mayor and the member for Hartley and I at the Remembrance Day service along with other members of the local community, and I thank Magill RSL once more. Indeed, it seems to have been a period of the year ripe for birthdays. The Lions Club of Athelston, I'm very pleased to acknowledge the Lions Club of Athelston for its 45th birthday, celebrated a couple of weeks ago, indeed with former District Governor Tony Pederick in attendance, and so many members of our local community, Lions Clubs and other service clubs from the area, congratulating John Heffernan and the committee. And I thank Mike Cook and his team for putting together an outstanding evening reflecting on the service that the Lions Club of Athelston provides our local community living in Athelston, the Campbelltown Council area and the broader Morialta district. The achievements they do in our local community do not go unnoticed, although they do so without any attempts for grandstanding or anything like that. This is a group of people who get about their business, who serve our community, and they serve our nation and our world, and they make it a better place. So thank you to the Lions Club of Athelston. In Athelston, we are served also by an outstanding CFS brigade, which for 60 years now has been providing that service to our community. Indeed, CFS Chief Officer Mark Jones was an honoured guest, as was the Emergency Services Minister, Vincent Tarsier, at St Ignatius College in the gym to celebrate a wonderful bringing together of so many current and past volunteers with the Athelston CFS. This is a brigade that was established 60 years ago, and yet it was still fantastic to have 4 of the founding members celebrating with us just a couple of weekends ago. 4 of the founding members, including Max Amber, who would be known to many members of the House. I told Max I didn't think that he would possibly be old enough to have been one of the founding members of the Athelston CFS 60 years ago. He assures me he was very young when he was one of those founding members. And it was great to see him there and obviously meet and engage and talk to some of the other founding members, some of whom are still active in the local community. So to Captain Mick Rossi and the team, Wayne Atkins and all of the active members of the group, and particularly the 60th anniversary working group, especially Jan Inkster and the team, thank you for that. And while reflecting in our local community on some of the achievements, I can't go past the Tea Tree Gully Rotary Club and congratulate their President Ray Wally and Glenn and Jolene Mitchell in particular for organising all of the service clubs in the Tea Tree Gully district to bring our new Governor, Her Excellency Francis Adamson AC, to the Dimples restaurant, to the golf course, to share with all of the service clubs. And there were a couple of hundred people there, the reflections on her new role, and those service clubs absolutely loved it. And all of those members of those service clubs very much appreciated the governor's role there, as did I, as did the members for Newland, Florey and indeed King and other members of the Parliament who were in attendance.